Hello everyone, this is Michael Stern and I'm here to share with you the amazing story of ASEA and why we need it. I believe that what you're about to see will change your life. Perhaps it may impact your health or quality of life or that of a loved one, or maybe you'll see a business pathway to provide financial abundance. To begin with, I want to describe the concept of transformational technology. Back after World War II, Bell Laboratories invented the transistor. They invited interested parties to come in to bid on the licensing rights. A gentleman from Japan by the name of Masaru Ibuka heard about this, and although he doubted that he would have any chance in acquiring the rights, he decided to come on over anyway. Remarkably, he was the only person to attend, and he succeeded in acquiring the rights. He went back to Japan and started the Sony Corporation, and the electronics industry was transformed forever. Now the interesting thing is that General Electric had also been very close to developing the transistor. However, they abandoned the project because they thought it might interfere with their vast vacuum tube business. How is it possible that they missed it? How could it be that as the creation of the automobile came about, that the blacksmiths and the livery stables and all those supporting the horse and buggy trade missed it? After all, they were the logical group to adapt this new means of transportation. The reason is that when transformational technology arrives, those involved in the industry affected are often blind to the shift in paradigm to see it coming. You need to be a visionary to recognize transformational breakthroughs. 3.5 years ago, I had a chance meeting with Vertus Norton, a man who had retired as the head of strategy for Kraft General Foods, a $35 billion company. He'd been brought in to assist in the strategic planning of a small publicly traded biopharmaceutical company. They were so impressed with him that he was invited to join their board of directors. He quickly realized, though, that although the company had an amazing technology, that due to mismanagement, the company was doomed to be assimilated by a larger public company. Like Masaru Ibuka, Vertus decided to attempt to acquire the intellectual property rights for that amazing technology, and along with his friend and golfing partner, James Pack, they succeeded in acquiring all the technology, research, and patents of this invention. Now, Vertus had personally experienced the benefits of this incredible breakthrough, and he wanted to understand exactly what this new product was and why it had such extraordinary properties. To do that, he enlisted the aid of Dr. Gary Samuelson, an atomic physicist specializing in medical applications. Dr. Samuelson determined that the product that Vertus and James had acquired had to do with an emerging new science called redox signaling. Redox is a term that comes from electrochemistry and has to do with the transfer of electrons between atoms. Redox signaling exploded into the scientific community in 1998 when 3 researchers received the Nobel Prize in Medicine for realizing that a redox molecule, one that had been dismissed for decades as insignificant, played an extraordinary role in communicating vital health messages. This began a huge expansion in redox signaling research worldwide, with international journals, graduate-level textbooks, and even having some universities open up entire departments dedicated to redox biology. Over 100 scientific papers are published on this every month. Why is it that with all this important research, no one knows about redox signaling? Why is it that we're not hearing about it on all the 24/7 news stations? The reason is that the scientific community believes that it is impossible to produce balanced, stabilized redox signaling molecules outside of our body. Redox signaling technology is a true transformational breakthrough. Scientists who understand this believe that it'll fuel the greatest advances in medical science this century. So what are redox signaling molecules and why are they so important? Before I can explain this, I need you to understand the importance of cells. Cells are the most basic fundamental unit of life, and our body is made of some 75 trillion of them. Instead of thinking about having a healthy heart, healthy liver or brain, we really should be thinking about having healthy heart cells, healthy liver cells, healthy brain cells, because truly our health is determined by the health of our cells. Redox signaling molecules are produced inside our cells. They help our cells to communicate with each other. They help our tissues heal themselves. Our cells are damaged every day, whether we're talking about damage from the UV and sunlight, from toxins in the air, from food and water, exercise, the choices of the foods that we eat, wear or tear, or daily stress. Our body has tens of billions of cells that need repair or replacement every day, even more if we're sick or sore. Now, when we're young, up until about age 7, our bodies produce an abundance of redox signaling molecule. That's when a 5-year-old child scrapes his knee, you can hardly tell after a few days. But what happens to us as adults if we scrape our knees? It can take weeks or even months before that scab completely heals. What has changed since we were children is the amount of these vital molecules that our cells produce. As we age, especially if we are sick, we just don't have enough redox signaling molecules to handle the demand. Redox signaling is absolutely necessary for all living things on Earth with more than one cell. It is becoming apparent that increasing proper redox signaling in your body is the single most important thing you can do for your health. After 17 years of research and millions of dollars spent, Virtus and Jim, through the insight of Dr. Samuelson, succeeded in doing what science has thought and continues to think is impossible: redox signaling molecules in a bottle. Precisely the same molecules that exist in every cell. ASEA is native to the body. They succeeded for the first time in history to create bioactive, balanced, and stabilized redox signaling molecules. Just as our cells create redox signaling molecules from the saline inside them, ASEA's highly patented 3-step process begins with saline solution. Then, after a redox process, the molecules of the salt and water are broken down to the atomic level until finally recombined to form stabilized, balanced redox signaling molecules. The end result is the creation of the world's first and only redox signaling supplement. For the first time in history, we can restore these vital molecules to empower our body to heal itself. We knew these molecules were helping people with their health. What we didn't know was the results that athletes would get. Studies have shown almost unbelievable yet documented increase in endurance and less soreness and better recovery. This is a picture of the Ironman triathlete Guinness World Record holder James Lawrence. He won 2 world records, first in 2010, running 22 half Ironman triathlons in 30 weeks, and again in 2012 for running 30 full Ironman triathlons in a year. He attributes his ability to recover and keep going on such a bold pursuit to his regular use of ASEA. When Virtus and Jim decided to further investigate ASEA's remarkable impact on athletes, they were told from several sources that the best researcher to contact is Dr. David C. Neiman. Dr. Neiman is the director of the ASU Human Performance Laboratory and is vice president of the American College of Sports Medicine. He's also the author of 9 books, has over 200 peer-reviewed publications, and has written over 300 articles. The Human Performance Laboratory is located at the state-of-the-art North Carolina Research Campus, home of the David H. Murdoch Research Institute and shared by 7 universities, as well as several agricultural-based companies. In spite of being totally skeptical about ASEA and our claim that we converted salt and water into stabilized redox signaling molecules, Dr. Neiman's team used the most sophisticated technology to prove conclusively that ASEA isn't just simply salt and water, and that it does in fact contain stabilized redox signaling molecules. Using the advanced science of metabolomics, Dr. Neiman first discovered the surprising results that athletes taking ASEA for a week prior to exercise had the same fatty acids released for the body to use as fuel as finely tuned marathon runners would have after months of training. Then he found out that these results were measurable even minutes after taking it the first time. He theorized that perhaps the part of the reason that athletes were experiencing such remarkable recovery and endurance with ASEA was that instead of using up the carbohydrate-based fuel the muscles use before the body starts burning fat, that the fat was being immediately used. He did a study with mice and found that they had 29% more endurance, and indeed they had used 30% less muscle carbohydrate. And as Dr. Neiman told us, mice just don't run 29% longer for nothing. Let's take a look at some video of what can happen with your blood after taking ASEA. This is video footage of someone's blood before they took ASEA. You can see that the red blood cells are stacked together. This reduces the surface area that is needed for them to carry oxygen efficiently throughout their body. Now let's take a look at what happened 20 minutes after drinking 4 ounces of ASEA. You can see now that all the cells are free from each other. Practitioners that do this type of work are very impressed with these results. With ASEA, we can restore our body's ability to fix itself as if we were younger. The long and short of it is that ASEA in of itself really doesn't do anything. What it does, however, is to restore the balanced redox environment that allows your body to do what it already knows how to do. I want to thank you for your kind intention and invite you to get back together with whoever introduced you to this presentation and get started with ASEA today. This is Michael Stern saying, welcome to ASEA.